Tell me when you're off me so I can work.
Would the dignitaries please be seated? Good morning. I'm Sergeant Al Gosby, and with me today is Sergeant Cindy Vance from the recruiting section. Welcome to the swearing-in ceremony for Recruit Class 163. And in particular, welcome to those friends, family, and loved ones who are watching via live stream. Before the dignitaries are introduced, I'd like to commend the men and women before you today. This has been an extraordinary and challenging year, one that has tested everyone. Policy and procedures have changed. We've all had to adapt to a new normal. That said, each and every one of you has been successful in an exhaustive selection process that's tested your character, your ethics, your determination, and in the year of a global pandemic, your patience and perseverance. These attributes, combined with the core values of the Vancouver Police Department, integrity, compassion, accountability, respect, and excellence, will make you fine role models while serving and protecting the public. We trust and expect that you will uphold these values in your service and do your very best in the course of your duties. I'd also like to acknowledge today's date, September 11th, 2020. 19 years ago, since the terrorist attack upon the United States that resulted in a horrific and tragic loss of life, both civilian, first responders, and firefighters, police that did not hesitate to try and render assistance under terrible conditions and lost their lives. Traditionally, first responders would gather at the Peace Arch in Borders in Canada to acknowledge the sacrifice. However, due to COVID, are unable to do so. I would ask that we have a moment of silence to honor those brothers and sisters in law enforcement and emergency service that paid the ultimate price. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce the dignitaries that are with us today, beginning with the Executive of the Vancouver Police Department, Chief Constable Adam Palmer, Deputy Chief Constable Howard Chow, Superintendent Martin Bruce, representing the Vancouver Police Board, Mr. Frank Chung, and from the Vancouver Police Union, President Ralph Kaisers. We'll now turn the ceremony over to Chief Constable Palmer for the oath of office. Chief.
Thank you. Please state your name. I,
Andrew Starr.
Tyler McCormack.
Testing Bill. Paul Ryder. Warren Wade. Riley Turner. Anthony Wu. Sukhbir Singh. Dawson Horner. Garrett Chow. Jason Grable. Brendan Frick.
Taylor Ellis.
Ethan Falta. Jesse Lee.
Solemnly swear or hereby affirm. They will well and truly serve our sovereign lady the Queen. Her heirs and successors according to law. In the office of police constable for the city of Vancouver. Without favor, affection, malice, or ill will. And that I will, to the best of my power, cause the peace to be kept and preserved. And will prevent all offenses against the persons and properties of Her Majesty's subjects. And that while I continue to hold the office, I will, to the best of my judgment, skill, knowledge, and ability, carry out, discharge, and perform all the duties of my office faithfully according to law, so help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief. Each of these new officers will now be introduced in alphabetical order. They will receive their badge from Chief Constable Palmer. Constable Danica Bilodeau Wheeler. Danica was born in Ottawa and raised in Abbotsford, where she attended Yale Secondary School. After graduating with honors, she gained valuable volunteer and work experience with the Abbotsford Police Department as a community volunteer, reserve constable, and a commissioner. Danica joined the VPD as a special municipal constable in 2019 and recently completed training. Danica comes from a family of service. Her grandfather was a Spitfire pilot with the Royal Canadian Air Force during World War II. Her father, a retired inspector with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and mother, a retired civilian member of the RCMP.
Constable Taylor Ellis. Taylor was born in North Vancouver and raised in Maple Ridge, where she attended Thomas Haney Secondary School. She graduated with honors and enrolled at Douglas College, earning diplomas in both criminology and youth justice before obtaining a Bachelor of Arts degree in applied criminology. Since the age of 16, Taylor has worked with the City of Maple Ridge as a lifeguard, swim instructor, and an aquatic leader.
Constable Brendan Frick. Brendan was born and raised in Vancouver. He is an honors graduate from John Oliver Secondary School and has earned a diploma in criminal justice from Langara College. Brenda has volunteered with the Odd Squad Productions, the Vancouver Police Judo Team, and is an assistant police judo instructor at the Justice Institute of British Columbia. Brendan has been employed with the Vancouver Police Department as a special municipal constable since 2017.
Constable Jasdeep Gill. Jasdeep was born in Calgary, Alberta. As a youth, Jasdeep excelled in soccer and earned numerous awards for his accomplishments on the field. Upon graduation from high school, Jasdeep enrolled at the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. This was followed by a move to British Columbia, whereupon Jasdeep focused on a career in policing and immersed himself in the field. He went on several ride-alongs and took courses to gain experience in the field. While doing so, Jasdeep maintained his passion for community as the head coach for the BC Tigers U11 boys soccer team and was a prominent volunteer with the Langley RCMP.
Constable Jason Gruall. Jason was born in Quesnel and raised in Surrey. He graduated from North Delta Secondary School and obtained a bachelor's degree in psychology from Simon Fraser University. He has worked as a healthcare security supervisor, student border services officer, and was hired as a special municipal constable with the Vancouver Police Department in February 2019. Jason has volunteered at Surrey Pretrial Services Centre, Canucks Autism Network, and Citizens Crime Watch. He is fluent in Punjabi and Hindi.
Constable Kelsey Havman. Kelsey was born in Abbotsford. Her leadership skills were recognized early in high school when she was chosen to be an executive for the Student Leadership Club. Kelsey attended UBC, achieving a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and a minor in Philosophy. She gained a valuable experience volunteering and working in the mental health sector, and more recently as a valuable member of the VPD Victim Services Unit. Kelsey has traveled extensively, including Europe, Asia, and South America. While in Africa, she had a 3-month internship working with the AIDS support organization in Uganda.
Constable Flora Su. Flora was born in Taipei, Taiwan. She immigrated to Canada in 1995 and later attended University Hill Secondary School. Flora had a keen interest in athletics and enjoyed basketball, volleyball, soccer, and track. Upon graduation from high school, Flora attended Langara College, achieving diplomas in kinesiology and criminology. Since 2014, Flora has volunteered and been employed at the West End Cole Harbour Community Policing Centre. She is currently the program manager at the Kitsilano Fairview Community Police Centre. Flora speaks Mandarin.
Constable Jeremy Lasher. Jeremy was born in Vancouver and raised in Burnaby. He attended Burnaby South Secondary and graduated from Simon Fraser University with a degree in criminology and a certificate in police studies. Jeremy also played lacrosse for SFU, earning multiple awards including Conference All-Star, Men's College Lacrosse Association All-American, and Team MVP. In 2018, Jeremy was hired as a special municipal constable with the VPD and volunteered with the Collingwood Community Policing Centre.
Constable Jesse Lee. Jesse was raised in Burnaby and as a youth developed a passion for swimming. His dedication and commitment found him excelling in the sport. Jesse was able to gain vital skills such as athleticism, focus, and endurance that enabled him to compete at a provincial level. He attended Douglas College and obtained a degree in criminology. While pursuing his love for swimming, Jesse became a lifeguard with the Vancouver Park Board. Jesse was also a role player with the Vancouver Police Department, and that experience has provided valuable insight into the policing world.
Constable Mark Leith. Mark was born in Burnaby and raised in Vancouver, where he attended David Thompson Secondary. Growing up, Mark was heavily involved in competitive baseball, and his grade 12 year, he was drafted as a pitcher by the Seattle Mariners. After a rewarding professional baseball career, Mark attended BCIT, where he earned a certificate of trades in automotive mechanics, and recently worked as the general manager at a large auto body center.
Constable Alex Liu. Alex was born and raised in Taipei, Taiwan. His family emigrated to the United States and settled in Southern California, and after several years, moved to Vancouver. Alex graduated from McGee Secondary School and earned his Diploma of Technology from BCIT. He spent several years teaching English in South Korea, and in 2013, Alex moved back to Vancouver to pursue his dream of becoming a police officer. Alex has volunteered with the Joyce Collingwood CPC and has a long history as a loss prevention officer. Alex is fluent in Mandarin and has an intermediate knowledge of Korean.
Constable Anthony Lowe. Anthony was born and raised in Maple Ridge. He attended Thomas Haney Secondary and graduated from the JIBC with a diploma in law enforcement studies. Anthony is an accomplished bagpiper and won competitions throughout North America and the United Kingdom. In November 2016, he was hired as a special municipal constable with the VPD and has worked as a full-time jail guard for 2 years. Anthony has volunteered for the West End Cole Harbour CPC Honor House Society and as a role player.
Constable Scott MacDonald. Scott was born and raised in Vancouver. From a young age, he excelled in hockey. Scott played over 200 games in the Western Hockey League and went on to earn a scholarship to play hockey for the UBC Thunderbirds. He was the recipient of several awards, including the Father David Bauer Award for his accomplishments in university through ice hockey. In 2019, Scott graduated with a law degree from the University of British Columbia, where he studied international and criminal law. Scott is of Métis ancestry.
Constable Riley McCormack. Riley was born in Richmond, British Columbia. He attended Sands Secondary School in Delta and earned his diploma with honors. Riley was a member of the school student council, he was a peer tutor, and completed the Delta Police Student Academy. Riley earned his diploma in criminology from Kwantlen Polytechnic University with a GPA of 3.33. He has volunteered with the South Vancouver CPC and is a member of the Vancouver Police Judo Club. Riley has worked as a role player with the Vancouver Police Tactical Training Center, and in 2018, he was employed as a VPD Special Municipal Constable.
Constable Kathleen Parker. Kathleen was born in Vancouver and raised in Tawasin. She attended Langara College and graduated with a Peace and Conflict Studies diploma. She is a corporal in the Canadian Armed Forces Reserves, British Columbia Regiment, and is a trained armored reconnaissance member. Kathleen has also worked in the security industry and volunteered with Sacred Heart Parish and BC Children's Hospital. Kathleen's late father, Stephen Parker, was a Delta police officer.
Constable Kane Poirier. Kane was born in Vancouver and raised in Port Moody. Kane was the assistant captain of his under-17 soccer team and went on to become an avid hiker and road cyclist. Kane has earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from Douglas College in Applied Criminology. Prior to being hired as a police officer, Kane worked as a program coordinator for the Lookout Society.
Constable Kyle Ryder. Kyle was born in Vancouver and raised in Vernon, where he attended Vernon Secondary School. He graduated with honors and enrolled at Kwantlen Polytechnic University, earning a certificate in criminology. Kyle joined the Vancouver Police Department as a special municipal constable in 2018 and was selected as a full-time community safety officer the following year. Kyle has volunteered with the Kitsilano Fairview CPC and the Tawasin Community Police Office.
Constable Maddie Saunders. Maddie was born and raised in Bristol, England. From a young age, she competed in team sports, particularly soccer at a regional level. Maddie's childhood was heavily influenced by her grandmother, who instilled perseverance, dedication, and the value of hard work. Maddie and her family visited Canada in 2007 and fell in love with the country, immigrating to Britannia Beach in 2013. Maddie earned promotions working at the Britannia Mine Museum and continued her studies at Capilano College. Maddie has volunteered at the VPD Tactical Training Center and worked part-time as a monitor at the Covert Intercept Unit. Maddie has been employed as a special municipal constable with the VPD in 2019.
Constable Sukhbir Singh. Sukhbir was born in Punjab, India, and moved to Vancouver when he was 13. He and his family settled in Surrey, and in junior high, he was introduced to wrestling and excelled in the sport. After graduating, he enrolled in the Bachelor of Science program in Behavioral Neuroscience at Simon Fraser University. He volunteered with Metro Vancouver Crime Stoppers and for Fraser Health. Prior to being hired as a police officer, Sukhbir worked for Service Canada and as a special municipal constable.
Constable Ben Seeger. Ben was born in New Westminster and raised in Port Moody. He was involved in several community sports teams, but excelled in soccer, taking part in numerous tournaments throughout Canada and the United States. Ben attended Douglas College and successfully completed his BA in criminology, which solidified his decision to pursue a career in law enforcement. He has been an active volunteer with the Ridge Meadows RCMP since 2016 and was recently employed as an e-com dispatcher for the Abbotsford Police Department.
Constable Andrew Starr. Andrew was born in Russia and moved to Israel at a young age. He and his family fled the Gulf War and settled in Vancouver. Andrew attended Churchill Secondary and excelled in volleyball, basketball, and track. He graduated from Simon Fraser University with a Bachelor of Arts, majoring in English. Andrew worked as a probation officer and volunteered at community residential facilities. Andrew is fluent in Russian and Hebrew.
Constable Lauren Swistak. Lauren was born in New Westminster and raised in Port Moody. From a young age, she excelled in swimming and was selected to represent Team BC at the Canada Summer Games. Lauren's swimming accomplishments earned her full scholarship at SFU, where she competed in the NCAA, the Canadian National Championships, and Olympic trials. She obtained her Bachelor of Arts in criminology and worked in the security industry and volunteered with the Granville CPC.
Constable Nathan Tontat. Nathan was born and raised in Vancouver. He participated in Francophone program at Kitsilano Secondary School and graduated in 2008 with both an English and French BC Certificate of Graduation. He attended Langara College, completing a criminal justice system course, which drew his interest into a career in law enforcement. Nathan joined the Vancouver Police Traffic Authority in 2017, and in the following year completed his community safety officer and jail guard training. Nathan was currently a full-time community safety officer. He is fluent in French and Vietnamese.
Constable Garrett Trow. Garrett was born and raised in Richmond. He attended Richmond Secondary, and during his grade 12 year, he traveled to Sri Lanka to help build a classroom. Garrett was awarded a trades scholarship and obtained his automotive service technician diploma from BCIT. He has volunteered with the Delta Police and Tawasin First Nation. In February 2019, Garrett was hired as a special municipal constable with the VPD and quickly earned a full-time position as a community safety personnel.
Constable Riley Turner. Riley was born in New Westminster and raised in Port Moody, where he attended Port Moody Secondary. Upon graduation, he enrolled in the Canadian Army Reserves, the Royal Westminster Regiment, where he gained valuable life experience while training with military units from around the world. Riley is in the process of earning a degree in criminology at Douglas College. In his spare time, Riley trains with the Vancouver Police Department Judo Club and works with the Vancouver Police Department Tactical Training Center as a role player.
Constable Dawson Warner. Dawson was born in Vancouver and raised in Maple Ridge, where he attended Westview Secondary School. After graduating with honors, he enrolled at Simon Fraser University and completed a Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science and International Studies. Dawson joined the VPD as a special municipal constable in 2016 and earned a full-time position as a jail guard the following year. These experiences have prepared him for a successful career in policing.
Constable Kelsey Woods. Kelsey was born in Burnaby and raised in South Vancouver. She graduated from Killarney Secondary School and was an avid soccer player. Kelsey attended Langara College before earning her degree at Simon Fraser University in criminology. She has volunteered with disabled students, inmates enrolled in reintegration programs, and at the South Vancouver Community Policing Center, and more recently as a POPAT volunteer. Kelsey has worked as a special municipal constable in the jail and community safety position since 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you'd agree that this is a very impressive and diverse group of extraordinary young men and women Congratulations. Please join us in a round of applause for the newest members of the Vancouver Police Department. Now call upon Chief Constable Palmer. Make some remarks, Chief.
Thank you, Sergeant Gosby. Welcome, everybody. This is our first swearing-in ceremony under the COVID-19 pandemic rules, so it's quite a bit different than our normal experience. I want to welcome everybody here today. Normally, this room would be filled with your loved ones, your parents, your spouses, your friends and family, but unfortunately today we have to improvise, adapt, and overcome and come up with a different model. But it's such an honor to be here as the Chief of the Vancouver Police Department to swear in 26 new members today. I know that 24 of you will be attending the Academy next week, and 2 of you will be working as pre-recruits and then attending the Academy in January of 2021. Sergeant Gosby, I want to thank you so much for acknowledging September 11th, which was a tragic day in world history. And on this 19th anniversary, we also remember the 60 police officers and 24 Canadians who were amongst the almost 3,000 people that tragically lost their life that day. It was interesting too when I was thinking and I was looking through your bios and realized that for many of us in the room, it doesn't seem that long ago, but for many of you, you were little kids at the time, and some of you were only 3 or 4 years old. And that really puts into perspective the circle of life that we see in policing as it carries on. Before I make further remarks about the class, it's also a special day, and I want to recognize Sergeant Al Gosby, who's approaching almost 33 years of service, sworn in well over 32 years ago in February of 1988 in Class 39, and has been our recruiting sergeant for the last 5 years, and previously worked in recruiting as a detective constable many years ago. I've known Al for over 30 years. He is a well-respected member of the Vancouver Police Department, hardworking, great sense of humor. But one thing I always admire about Al as a sergeant and as a leader in our department is the way he looks after his people. Several people in recruiting have reached out to me and made sure that I remembered it was Al's retirement, and believe me, I can't forget, because we're from the same era, just one class apart, and it's something that means a lot to me, his service to the Vancouver Police Department, and it's important that I recognize it. And what the people in recruiting told me over and over again, and several people mentioned, not only that you're a great mentor, Al, but you're the best boss they've ever had. And that means a lot, because as you become more senior in seniority on the job, that recognition from your peers or the people that work for you or with you is the most important type of recognition. Al's also very passionate about recruiting, and for many years has taken that job so seriously to make sure that we're hiring the best possible candidates, because that decision is a 30-year decision, who we hire into the police department over the course of your 30-year career. So Al, today I want to congratulate you on an incredible career with the Vancouver Police Department. Wish you and your family all the best in retirement. It's kind of odd that you're standing behind me, so just come around this way for a sec. And as a token of my appreciation and to thank you for your service, I want to present you with my Chief's Challenge coin and just thank you for everything you've done for us over 33 years. Good police officer and a good man. Thank you all. There are many special events that I attend as chief, but perhaps none more important than the swearing in of new members to our police department. This is an important day for you and your families, and I just want to recognize that because your families cannot be here today, that they are able to watch it. We're live streaming this on the internet, so your family will be able to watch this. But I also want to welcome you and your families and your loved ones into the extended VPD family. This class is an interesting one as well, because Class 163 was supposed to be sworn in last April, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic and all the changes in the world, you've had to wait 5 months, almost 5 months for this. So I thank you for your patience. But you're really coming into policing at an extraordinary time in world history. Never before in my career, or even people that worked a generation before me, have we seen the turmoil and the challenges that we're seeing with regard to public safety and policing in the Western world. All the conversations that are going on, the focus on everything we do, it's going to be an extremely challenging time on top of an already challenging profession going forward. But I'll tell you with 100% confidence that we're going to get through it. We're going to be fine. We're very good at listening to the community and adapting, overcoming adversity, and we're going to continue on with the proud traditions and keep the city safe. So thank you for your commitment coming into policing at a very difficult time. Today, as you're sworn in as a police officer, it's not just a big deal for that, because it's also a big deal because you're becoming a Vancouver police officer. And we have a very strong and honored history in this department. For the past 134 years, since 1886, we've been keeping the city safe. And it's also poignant that we do our swearing-in ceremonies right here in our Gravely Atrium, because this is a place of honor where we remember our 16 fallen officers who are in front of you, who paid the ultimate sacrifice and were killed in the line of duty. But now you represent part of that history, but more importantly, you represent the future of the Vancouver Police Department. Because many of you will work for approximately 30 years and you'll be retiring probably around 2050, somewhere in that time frame. But one thing I'll tell you about policing that's unique from other careers is that it doesn't matter if you retired 30 years ago, if you've got over 30 years on the job, like Sergeant Gosby, or you've got 30 minutes on the job and you're brand new into the profession. It's something that stays with you for life. And when I talk to our retired members, members that came on in the 50s and 60s and 70s, they still look back with fond memories and feel that connection to the VPD family decades later. And I'll guarantee you that 20 years from now, if you're walking down the street or you're in a restaurant or you're in the mall or something and you run into Sergeant Gosby, you'll remember him, the sergeant that hired you, and that connection with VPD will always be strong with Al and with you. It never leaves you. So today when I give you that badge, I know that you're going to take it home and you're going to look at it. You're going to show your friends and family. It looks really cool. But just remember, with that badge comes a lot of responsibility. It's not like television. You'll see on television police using force all the time in the movies and TV shows and things like that. But in reality on the street, we use force very judiciously in a small number of cases. And we rely on our interpersonal skills and our ability to talk to people, calm down situations. We're always responding to volatile situations, but our job is to restore order and calm and peace to situations that are tense and where people are in trouble. And one thing that's important as a new police officer to understand early on in your career is that intersection between law enforcement, public safety, and all the different social issues that we deal with in society, whether it's mental health, addiction, poverty, alcoholism, all these different things that will sometimes cause the police to interact with people. And my expectation is that you'll be problem solvers, and that's one of the things that we look at when we hire you. This is not a black and white profession. It's full of color and it's full of life. And while sometimes you're going to deal with hardcore chronic offenders and criminals, many times you're going to be dealing with marginalized people who are less fortunate and are on the fringes of criminal behavior, but in tough situations in life. And you'll have to make tough decisions how you're going to handle some of those circumstances. And you're going to deal with people from all walks of life, and a lot of people that are less fortunate than you and didn't have the same upbringing or background as you. And when you're dealing with people from all different walks of life, you're also going to come under very high level of scrutiny. And many times it's going to be from people from behind a television or computer screen, or somebody that's sitting behind a desk that has no idea about what you do, would never do your job, could never do your job, and doesn't understand the challenges of being a police officer, but will be quick to point criticism at police. And it makes this job very challenging. Making split-second decisions and working through those tough challenges that we face. But a couple of simple rules that I always live by: if you work hard and you treat people with respect, those two simple things, it will serve you well in life. Those are two lessons that I learned from my own dad and have served me well throughout my career. And I always think it's the mark of a good person of how you treat somebody that is less fortunate than yourself. Our values in the police department: I care. Integrity, compassion, accountability, respect, and excellence are so important and will guide you throughout your entire career. And when we're talking about respect, it's not just respect for everybody in the public, it's respect for everybody that works here. All our sworn members and civilian professionals, everybody in this agency. We want to have a strong, supportive, caring workplace where we look out for one another and have a positive work environment, which is so important. One thing I see every day, continuously, is the amazing work that our members do out on the front lines, responding to many, many calls. Today being a Friday, it won't be uncommon if we respond to 800 calls for service just today in Vancouver. The call load is extremely high here. There's lots of stuff going on. And every day I'm hearing about our officers arresting dangerous predators, talking people off ledges, dealing with kids in crisis, helping people on the worst day of their life. And they do incredible work under very difficult circumstances that doesn't always get recognized. But you're coming into a profession where you're going to work with amazing people and you're going to serve proudly alongside of them. As to all the people standing next to you, all of your academy mates, and your badge numbers range from sort of the 3220s to the 3240s, or sorry, 3320s to the 3340s, of 100 numbers behind there. This group of people, of 26 people, and especially the 24 of you going through the academy this go around, you're going to become so tight and closely connected. And it doesn't matter where you go in your career. As a patrol officer, if you end up working undercover or riding a motorcycle or working as a police canine handler, becoming a supervisor one day, whatever you end up doing in your career, 25 or 30 years later, you will still have a strong connection with those people you went through the academy with. So today, you embark on that roller coaster of life where you're going to experience an incredible journey. It's a fun job, but it's a serious job. And you're going to deal with things at the end of this career, and you're going to look back, and you're going to see that you've saved people's lives. You've arrested dangerous criminals, bank robbers, sexual predators. You've been in car chases. You're going to be rescuing women from domestic violence. You're going to be dealing with outlaw motorcycle gangs and Hells Angels members. And you're going to put yourself in harm's way to protect and assist a fellow officer or a citizen that you've never met. And there's 1,400 other police officers in this city that are going to drop everything they're doing and come to assist you in your time of trouble when you need help out on the street. Guaranteed. They won't know you, they won't have a clue who you are in many cases, but they'll be there to help you. Because while others are running away from danger, our members are going into it on a daily basis. But not everything you're going to deal with is crime. You're going to be dealing with distraught mothers who have lost their children and are just frantic, hysterical. You're going to be dealing with troubled youth, and sometimes that's where you have to make those decisions and think, I'm dealing with a young person here, and is the right course of action to give this person a criminal record and put them through the criminal justice system? Or is this a kid that needs a leg up in life and needs to get back on a straight and narrow path, and you can find alternative measures to help that kid without giving him a criminal record? Those are difficult choices, but that's part of police discretion, and that's part of that area of policing that takes a while to understand those nuances. You're going to be dealing with wandering Alzheimer's patients, people with Parkinson's disease that are cold and afraid out on the street, confused, and you're going to come and you're going to bring them back to their families. And you're going to talk people off the edge of a balcony, off of a bridge, on the worst day of their life when they have nobody else to talk to and nobody else to turn to except for you. These are important things that you're going to do, and you will make a difference in people's lives every day you come out here as a Vancouver police officer. Some of the new challenges you're going to face that the generation before you didn't face, to do with cybercrime and terrorism, changes in technology, new drugs like fentanyl, and things that didn't exist or we didn't even think about 30 years ago. These are the challenges that we're facing today in the city. But I have all the faith in our members, sworn and civilian, because our police officers are smart, fit, they're well-trained, they're well-educated, they're compassionate people, and we're going to do our best to keep this city safe under extraordinary challenges. I've been on the job for 33 years this week. I was sworn in on Tuesday. It was my 33rd anniversary, and I'll tell you, even after all those years, it's still the best job in the world, despite all the challenges. I love it, and I still love coming to work every day. And I can't say that for a lot of my friends that got into other occupations. This career is very unique. It will challenge you to the max, but it's also extremely rewarding. To the family and friends that are watching online, I want to welcome you again to the Vancouver Police Department family, and I look forward to meeting you. I believe it's in June of 2021 when your loved ones here will graduate. All the men and women standing before you have been through an extremely vigorous process to get hired. We take the best of the best. We get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of applications every year, and it's a very difficult job to get into. Very, very competitive. We also have dozens of officers from other agencies from across Canada applying to come to the VPD as experienced police officers all the time. It's a destination police department, and it's a police department that people want to come and work at and make a career out of. But what your loved ones here are going to need from you, to all the family and friends, is your understanding, your love, your support, your friendship. Make sure they keep involved in their outside interests, because policing, you can become absorbed in it 24/7, and there are other things to life. So make sure you keep them on track with the other things they love to do. But I can't understate the importance of family support to keeping our officers physically, mentally, emotionally strong and grounded and balanced in their lives. And that support and love that you provide to them behind the scenes is extremely important. So I want to thank the families for everything you do, because your loved ones will be exposed to some incredible things, but also to some very unpleasant things that people don't normally see. But you are part of the VPD family as well, and thank you so much. I look forward to meeting you. A few other comments in closing I just want to mention is recognizing Ralph Kaisers, and one of our honored guests from the Vancouver Police Union. We're at a very positive point in our history. We have a very strong and progressive union. We have a great relationship with the Vancouver Police Union, and you will see great leadership coming from Ralph Kaisers and the Vancouver Police Union, who will support you as well. I also want to recognize Frank Chong from the Vancouver Police Board and the newest police board member. Thank you for being here today. I know it's your first swearing-in ceremony, and I know Frank's going to come up and say a few words. But we are all employed by the Vancouver Police Board, and even the Chief of Police has a boss, and my boss is the Vancouver Police Board. So their importance in oversight and governance of the VPD cannot be understated. In this class, we've got 6 family connections that I just want to mention. Constable 3321 Taylor Ellis. Her father is retired Sergeant Doug Ellis, who served from 1975 to 2003. Recruit Constable 3326 Jeremy Lasher. His father, Terry Lasher, works in our department security office, and his brother, Jordan Lasher, works in District 1 in the downtown core. Recruit Constable 3330 Anthony Lowe. His cousin is one of our civilian professionals, Nicole Tuff. Constable 3331 Riley McCormack is the nephew of retired and sadly deceased Constable Rick Schaff, who served from 1978 to 2006. And Rick's dad, Bob Schaff, also served from the 1960s to the 1990s. Recruit Constable 3337 Lauren Swistak is the niece of VPD Constable Tyrone Douglas, who works in our emergency and operational planning section. And Recruit Constable 3340 Riley Turner is the son, and there's no mistaking he's the son. When he walked up, he looks just like his dad, is the son of Constable Rob Turner, who works in our traffic section riding a Harley Davidson, which I think has got to be one of the best positions on the department. I know all of your family members and your connections well. I know every single one of them that are on the job and the ones that are no longer on the job. They're all respected members, all very highly respected members of the Vancouver Police Department, and have served very well before you. And I know that you're going to serve proudly in their footsteps. To our recruiting staff, I want to thank Inspector Randy Bell, Staff Sergeant Mark Woolridge, Sergeant Al Gosby, Sergeant Cindy Vance, for the impressive qualifications of this class and the great job in recruiting all of these incredible people. Our recruiting detectives have done an absolutely outstanding job. The education, the language skills, the diversity, the sports, the athletic capability of some of these recruits here is just absolutely impressive. Martial arts backgrounds, volunteer service, working in community policing centers. We have people with military background, corrections, people that worked in the trades, and a real wide variety of life experience, traveling around the world, all different things that make you a more well-rounded person and make you a well-rounded police officer. I also want to mention one of our recruits, Recruit Constable 3322 Brendan Frick, because he's our first VPD cadet, and our cadet program is for high school students, grades 10, 11, 12, and he was in the first cadet program in September 2014, and our first cadet to make it through cadets and our SMC program, and now is a regular police officer. So congratulations, Brendan. Finally, Sergeant Major Ray Gardner, Sergeant Mike Pollard, Constable Matt Nielsen from our ceremonial unit, Tim Fanning from the Vancouver Police Pipe Band, Barb Weiss, our photographer. Thank you so much for everything you did to make today's ceremony possible. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Class 163.
Thank you, Chief Palmer, and thank you for the kind words. Sincere and always stand behind you and support your leadership. I'd like to introduce from the Vancouver Police Board, Mr. Frank Chong, make a few remarks.
Thank you for the introduction, and good morning, everyone. I'm here to warmly welcome you on behalf of the Vancouver Police Board. Firstly, I would be remiss to acknowledge that we are on the unceded territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations, and we thank them for their hospitality on these lands. As you know, the Police Board is a group of citizens, plus the Vancouver Mayor, who chairs our board. Our role is to provide oversight and governance at the VPD and serve as the employers of sworn and civilian staff members. We work very closely with the chief and his executive team, oversee the finances, and provide strategic direction. And most importantly, the board provides an important link between the VPD and the community. To each of you who made a decision to embark on this career in policing, I commend you for making this commitment to this very important public service. I read through each of your impressive bios, and I can see why each of you made it through a very rigorous VPD recruitment process. And I'm so proud as a board member that each of you come with such a diverse background and experiences, and that they will be certainly applied here at the VPD. I would also like to acknowledge your families and friends who are now part of the VPD family, and recognize their support to each of you as you begin your career. I wish to reassure them that your health, your wellness, and safety remains a priority today and into the future. This is not an easy time to be in policing, and there are extraordinary challenges, but I hope you will recognize that the Police Board has and will continue to work with the professionals here at the VPD and the community to navigate through the uncertainties. Together, we will continue to build a diverse and compassionate organization that reflects the VPD's core values and the needs of our community. I wish you all the very best, and we look forward to following your long and successful careers at the VPD. Congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chong. I'd like to now introduce the President of the Vancouver Police Union, Ralph Kaisers.
Good morning. On behalf of the Vancouver Police Union, I'd like to welcome all of you, our newest recruits to the Vancouver Police Department. I'm not going to take up too much of your time because I think this is a day for you and your families to enjoy. And I say that because obviously families today are joining us via the link on the web to watch the event. Today's event is a much more enjoyable event, even amidst this COVID protocol, that was the case during my swearing in, which was quite a number of years ago. Back then, it was nothing more than a 2-minute handshake with the chief. You were handed your badge, and away you went to get your uniform equipment and everything from stores. And we all can remember Maureen at stores because she was a very pleasant person. I think this, though, however, speaks to the acknowledgement and the recognition of how important you all are to us. To the recruits, we're here today to welcome you into this organization because you are and will always be our greatest asset. I would also like to welcome your families and friends and thank them for supporting you in the decision to join the Vancouver Police Department. The support that the families and friends will provide to these recruits is critical, and it will be relied upon as they begin their training at the Justice Institute on Monday and then later throughout their entire career. You will always be very proud of these new recruits, but at times your support will be threatened as they meet and overcome the many challenges that they will be facing during their careers. Your support must never waver. The recruits must cherish this support and not take it for granted. You must repay that support that you've received from your family, friends, and your community by being the very best that you can be. The citizens in this community expect our police department to keep them safe and to protect their property. There are many strategies that are relied upon to meet these expectations. However, we can only live up to these expectations because of the skills, abilities of our officers who are out there doing the job. You will soon join them, and I am confident that you are all capable and willing. You are now beginning your careers at a time of very great change. There has never been more scrutiny, oversight, or accountability for the police. Some people see this as a threat. I think it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to become better police officers in a better police organization, and an opportunity to communicate more clearly to the community the important and valuable service that we provide to them. You will all have a role in taking advantage of this opportunity. As I see it, the role of the police executive and the police union is to work together to create an environment that will allow all of you to perform your work in a way that ensures that the community receives the very best service from the police and that allows us together to overcome any and all of these new challenges. I believe now more than ever that we are all committed to the same objective. So as you begin your service here with the Vancouver Police Department, I wish you all the very best, and I look forward to supporting you throughout your careers. I'd also like to take a quick minute to commend the entire recruiting unit and thank them for their tireless efforts in continuing to recruit excellent candidates into this organization. And in particular, today, Al's last day. He's retiring after 33 years of service. I've also had the pleasure of working with him throughout my career. Al, thank you for all the work you've done in recruiting and throughout your career. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ralph. Distinguished guests, family members, loved ones, friends and family, thank you for watching. Thank you those that are attending today for this morning's ceremony. The class will be now piped out. Sergeant Major! Dignitaries,